What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. If you've been here before, I'm NeonMushroom. Today we're playing a deck that I wanted to wait to play on paper, but it's been requested a couple times. I'm intrigued. I've been ordering the few paper cards that I don't have for this deck to play it, but I had the itch. We're going to play Sam Black's SCG 1K winning straight up blue-green Aluren all-in combo deck. So you've seen me play Aluren on this channel before, and that's mostly been the Francisco Pavlushek inspired survival, Treva colors, meddling mage, grind game Aluren. This is a version that is not about that. We're all in on the combo. It starts in the mana base. We've got literally 10 soul lands, 8 of which between Havenwood Battleground and Hickory Woodlot make 2 green, which are, by happenstance, the 2 green you need to cast in Aluren. So we can cast Aluren as early as turn 2 if you go like Havenwood Battleground into City of Traitors. The rest of the mana base is like we got lots of basics. We're still kind of weak to Wasteland. This is a factor, but we've got lands that like actually survive through a Wasteland. So, and there's also a pivot plan on the board we'll talk about in a moment. But if you're not familiar with the Aluren combo, here's the one that's happening in this deck. It's a little bit different from the Treva Aluren decks we've seen before. We have the card Aluren, who says any player may cast a creature spell with CMC 3 or less by just paying 0 mana. You can just do it whenever you want and at instant speed, as though they had flash. So we can draw our entire deck if we have Cavern Harpy, who makes you return a blue or black creature to your hand, and you can pay a life to return it to your hand, and the card Raven Familiar, who anticipates. It looks at the top 3, 1 to your hand, 2 to the bottom, when it comes into play. When you have both of these cards in an Aluren, for a point of life, you can anticipate. Now, you're going to die eventually, right, if you keep doing that, but not if you have a Soul Warden. Soul Warden makes this play life positive. You actually gain as much life as you want going through this combo. Now, the way that we lock our opponent out of the game is pretty interesting. It's a single copy of Rishadan Cutpurse. Basically, once you've established as much life as you want, as many cards as you want, you take the Rishadan Cutpurse, which you will always find because when you're doing the combo, you draw through your deck as fast as you want and as many times as you want to. Then you just keep Cutpursing till your opponent's out of mana, and then they sacrifice all of their lands and permanents. Once we're there, that's actually our win con. From there, we can do this at instant speed whenever we want. So if our opponent on taps plays a land, we just like do the Cutpurse combo, they sacrifice it, attack for 10, attack for 10. That's how we actually win. The way this deck is supported, we're playing cards like Cloud of Faeries, which are really helpful for like setting up the kill turns with our Havenwood Battlegrounds to get the green to cast the Aluren, but also these Cloud of Faeries can be cycled to look for an extra card, and sometimes you need to do something like hard cast another Intuition in the middle of the combo. Cloud of Faeries lets you do that. So that is how the main board works. We've got some other ways to search, Impulse, Flash of Insight, cards like that. They're very cool. And Chain of Vapor to bounce hate pieces out of play, which is really important. Also, it resets pieces for us, so it kind of helps combo as well. Our sideboard's interesting because we pivot to being a show and tell deck. This is 2 things. The first one is really cool and not as obvious. It makes your Aluren not only 1 mana cheaper, but not cost green. So you can show and tell, and that can really throw your opponent off balance because it's kind of like ramping because you can play your Aluren on turn 2 all the time with a soul land, but you can also hide your green land, so if they don't know what's up, you just win. Also, show and tell is a really good pivot against meddling mage, who's always going to name the card Aluren, so you can just show and tell through the meddling mage. Outside of that, it's pretty normal. 4 Xantid Swarms for counterspell matchups, 3 Compost for mono black matchups, Masticores for goblins and elves, another Soul Warden for red, and another Chain of Vapor for all the hate pieces. The 3 ofs are very important, like the 3 Masticore, 3 Compost, 3 show and tell, because you can intuition for them. And in the matchups where you're bringing those in, they're probably going to be very good. That's everything you need to know about this deck. So let's hop into a league. All right, they're on the play. Let's look at this hand for game 1. This is 6 lands and a flash. That's what we call a mulligan. Here we have a Cavern Harpy and a Cloud of Faeries, Aluren Impulse. So we're looking for either Intuition. We are looking for Mana War. No, Mana War doesn't work. So it has to be Raven Familiar. This is interesting. We can't really exploit Cloud of Faeries with this hand either. And the green, I guess we can like use the Cloud of Faeries to make our double green, which is a big deal. What do you guys think? I'm on the side of mulligan this hand, although we are 2/3 of the way to just a straight up combo, right? We got Todd with keep, Drafter with mull. This hand is defo a keep. All right, we got 2 keeps and a mull. All right, what do we think we put back? My head's stuck between Basic Island and Cloud of Faeries, leaning towards Cloud of Faeries, with the caveat that Cloud of Faeries can be used to make the extra green if we need it. It's not bad actually, but if you don't draw another creature, it will suck. True. All right, let's give it a shot. Pitch the Cloud. Let's go. I think opponent plays Iggy Pop, probably. Oop, there's a waste. This is not Iggy Pop. Yield through turn. City of Traitors. Not too bad. Let's, he mulls for the 2 mana green lands a lot. Very good to know, thank you. Now, here's a little interesting point. If I lead on this Yavimaya Coast, I can do a turn 3 Aluren if I develop another green source. If I don't do that, then I'm in the waiting room for green mana. I think we'll just go Island Go. That way, like, we don't know exactly what our opponent's on. I don't want to get blown out by the wasteland. City of Rest. So we've got HFEB, survival for sure. Intuition's a solid pickup here. So now we need to concern ourselves with another green source. I think what I'll do, here's my thinking. They could kill us as soon as the turn after next. So what's the fastest I can slurp the Aluren combo altogether? Is it just City Intuition for green mana? It could be, but then if we miss on the combo piece, we're sitting here with an Aluren, a Cavern Harpy, and Stone Cold nowhere to go, right? If we pump our brakes a little bit and drop a Yavimaya Coast in Impulse in an attempt to hit either a green mana or a Raven Familiar, I think that's a little bit safer. Because as of right now, if we go City of Traitors and Intuition for green mana, all we do is drop the Aluren and do nothing else, right? So yeah, we're going to go Yavimaya Coast, pass. All right, they're just passing, which is like fine for us. This lets us Impulse. So let's do that. Who do we see? Cavern Harpy, Chain of Vapor is actually a really great defensive spell right now for us. So we'll take the Chain, any order those, and go to our turn. A Cloud of Faeries. This actually lets us Aluren right now. And if this is HFEB, they don't typically have a way to remove the Aluren from play, although they will get to, utilize the Aluren as well. But with Cavern Harpy and Cloud of Faeries, we can make a ton of mana, letting us Intuition for the mana war. I think that's the route we go, right? Don't we just go City of Traitors, tap everything, wait Intuition, end a turn for Raven and do it next turn? I can just Intuition for Raven right now, right? Right? Because if I go, let's run through this line really quick. City of Traitors, tap for 4, play Cloud of Faeries off the blue, on tap Yavimaya Coast, and we'll tap the Yavimaya Coast for green. So we make green and then on tap everything. Then we drop Aluren. Cavern Harpy pickups the Cloud of Faeries. And then we can use the Cloud of Faeries and the Cavern Harpy to generate a bunch of mana to Intuition for mana war. I'm not sure what that loses to. So we're going to go, we'll play the City of Traitors. We'll tap this for green, 2 colorless, and a blue. Then we'll play Cloud of Faeries, and we'll use a colorless to do so. And then we will allow its ability to resolve on tapping Coast, plus it doesn't particularly matter, but City of Traitors. And then we can play the Aluren for a green and 2, leaving a mana floating. Then we can go, let's hold control for safety. We can cast this without paying its mana cost. And then we'll bounce it to hand for posterity, leaving a trigger on the stack. I don't think this is a matchup where we need to do that, but we just can. And then we'll cast it again. And then we'll no response, bounce the Cloud of Faeries. Then we'll play the Cloud of Faeries. No response. We will untap City of Traitors and Island. And then in response to the Cavern Harpy ability, we'll go blue and 2 for an Intuition. Target them as my opponent. 1, 2. And now we go get Mana War. They tap for 1 and they survival away a Chroma. This is fine. Why Mana War? We're going to get Raven Familiar. We go to get Squee. No response to that. What now? All right, we're going to get 3 copies of Raven Familiar. 1, 2, 3. Any order into the bin. And then we will play Raven Familiar. Allow that ability to resolve. Look at these top cards. We'll take another Intuition. Any order those to the bottom. Then we will pay to put this back in hand and then play it out. Nope. Do we just let the Cavern Harpy ability resolve? No, yeah, I think we do. We'll let this resolve and we'll pick up the Raven Familiar, I think. Boop, back to hand. And then we'll play out Cavern Harpy. No response. Let it come into play. Play out Raven Familiar. And then I'll just pay a life to return that. And then we'll let the Raven Familiar resolve. Let's grab Rishadan Cutpurse. Any order those. And then we can allow the Cavern. You know what? Let's actually start with a Rishadan Cutpurse. Let that resolve. All right, they concede. Interestingly, the opponent had a way to win from here. I'd love to hear that explained. Begin sideboarding. All right, we won our first game on stream with our not HFEB, our opponent's playing HFEB with our Sam Black Aluren deck. Yeah, good game. Good game. That was a good one for us. I wonder if this is a matchup where we want to rush our Aluren line since they're also a combo deck. That's interesting, right? Chain's interesting. Xantid Swarm is not. Compost is not. Maybe Compost is slightly interesting because we know that they're a Duress plus Cabal Therapy deck. What up, Neon? I got a 1K coming up this week, and I got 2 choices between the Rock or Green White Madness. Which would you choose to play and why? I think Green White Madness is insane. I would just play that deck. Why? It's non-exploitable and it gets the job done. If it's a 1K and you're expecting some serious competition, put it on the onus put the onus on your opponent to not die. Guys, what do you think about Compost? Is it too narrow? I know they're going to have Duress and Cabal Therapy. Carl, are you still here? What do you think about Compost in a matchup like this? And Show and Tell. I think Flash of Insight might be way too slow for this matchup for starters. Yeah, get you set of Aluren. It's a super fun card to own. It's awesome in the format. You think yes on Compost? Yeah, I wonder if this is even the matchup for Show and Tell. I think it's probably just like, because Show and Tell is a really good pivot against opposing meddling mages. Yeah, it was Feb. I was thinking about Show and Tell, but I don't think that's actually the route I want to go. I'm thinking I just want Compost. Oh, you saying Compost isn't great against it? Okay. Well, I don't like Flash. I know that. So maybe let's just try. I just don't like Flash in this matchup. Thank you for the resub, Bone Crusher. Let's try this. I don't know. The other Soul Warden, you think? I kind of just like the chain. We'll try it. I could see it being the chain, though. Yeah, Carl says the chain. Yeah, just like keep bouncing Hermit. Yeah, if we lose this match, I think that's what we'll do. All right, we're about to see if the Compost is any good because it's just in our hand. Keep Birds of Paradise. Let's just go Hickory Woodlot and pass. 2 mana Seal. 2 mana Hermit Druid. Good thing I have this chain. Attackers, end step, my go. On tap. So we need to get to this combo ASAP. Let's play out an island. I've got the Cutpurse, which is really interesting. Because like next turn, I could go like Aluren. Full disclosure, I haven't played this yet because my Soul Wardens are in the mail. Fair. I'm still waiting on 2 more Show and Tells. Is this just like Compost plus chain? Is that where we're at here? Cutpurse is pretty cool. Does Cutpurse actually do enough for us here? Cutpurse is going to force them to sack probably their birds, right? I think I want a chain plus Compost. Yeah, Purse is just a Stone Rain. I think I'm just going to go, wait, if they have On Earth, they kill you, JK. Yeah, I'm just going to bounce this Hermit and play Compost and see how that goes. And then let's just, I guess that I don't mind if they copy my chain to bounce my Compost. That's fine with me. I should have done this in the reverse order technically, but we're in this position where if they sack their waste, I'm like totally cool with that. I can just replay the Compost. All right, pass turn. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. I should have chained first. Damn, there's been months since I didn't see you, dude. Missed your modern videos. Didn't know you were still streaming, though. I am, yeah. A lot, actually. Black and colorless. Mesmeric Fiend. Okay, this is fine. They probably have to take Aluren. Maybe not. Oh, they do take Aluren. Okay, that's cool. Ooh, Soul Warden. Do I just Cutpurse? I think I might just Cutpurse. Yeah, I think we're going to Cutpurse. We lose our Hickory Woodlot, but I think that's okay. Cutpurse you? All right, sack a permanent, please. Oh, they use an Elvish Spirit Guide. That's cool. All right, we will play Coast and pass. All right, here comes the Druid. Attackers. We go to our turn. Do we Impulse for Chain? Ooh, City of Traitors is cool. If they activate Druid, I'm going to draw about 1,000 cards, roughly. But I think I want to put that off as long as possible. So let's just open on main phase Impulsing. Ooh, we've got the Chain of Vapor. Yeah, I think we're cool to make them recast it again. Alternatively, I could just wait and try to bounce the Mesmeric Fiend, but that seems short-sighted. They can't afford to flashback a therapy during their Hermit combo without Animate Dead. That makes sense. So if you let them activate Hermit, you can chain their Shifter after they make it a Chroma. I see what you're saying. Okay, so yeah, we'll take the chain and we won't cast it yet. I see where you're going with that. All right, let's just play an island and pass. I guess I can attack. Nah, I don't want to lose. I don't want to run the risk of losing my Rishadan Cutpurse. I mean, they can just like not go for it here, right? They're not under any serious pressure at the moment. All right, they activate the Hermit. So we just let this go. All right, Compost triggers lots of times, but they have to order their graveyard. 2 mana, draw 7, and people told you not to bring it in. Yeah, well, ideally, we don't get ourselves in this situation. Graveyard order has to be a top 3 favorite mechanic of mine. Gideon, then you're in it. This is the format for you. Yeah, they're doid. What if they have like another Elvish Spirit Guide? Are they still dead? All right, I would like to draw all these cards. All right, I have a full hand. What will you do? All right, so they're Volrath Shapeshiftering. So Carl, let me see if I understand this right. I need to use my Chain of Vapor on the Shapeshifter itself, correct? And then what happens? Because Volrath Shapeshifter is going to come into play as a copy of Karmic Guide, which is going to reanimate the Karmic Guide. There's going to be an On Earth on top of their graveyard. So with the On Earth on top of the graveyard, they have a second Karmic Guide trigger that wants to buy back Psychotog to reorder their graveyard. And once they've done that, they can't. Yeah, we just wait for what Carl just said. They're them flashing back therapy will do it. All right, no response. I'll draw a card. Yes, there's a familiar. No response. Shapeshifter becomes a Karmic Guide. Karmic Guide reanimates the Psychotog, which is also fine. And then they Cabal Therapy, and in response to that, I simply Chain of Vapor their Psychotog Volrath Shapeshifter, and they just deck. Yeah, that's pretty intuitive. Yeah, they can't really, now they simply can't kill here. Yeah, we win the match, wow. So this was with Carl's help. For me to find that line, we would have been sitting here for another 2 minutes panicking about our opponent's graveyard. But ultimately, I know the line they're taking right here, so the way to break it is to do exactly what we just did. For anyone confused that's watching this video, because I know there's some of you that maybe don't play HFAB, what's going to happen here, the rest of this line looks like, their Karmic Guide has, their Volrath Shapeshifter has come in and reanimated a Karmic Guide. And then the top card is an Unearth, because they use Unearth to get the Shapeshifter into play. But for a brief moment, the Shapeshifter sees the Karmic Guide, puts a Karmic Guide trigger on the stack, reanimates a Karmic Guide. This Karmic Guide is going to reanimate a Psychotog, which is then sacrificed to Therapy. That sets their graveyard order up, so the top card is Psychotog, meaning that their Volrath Shapeshifter is Psychotog. The reason that we Chain of Vapor the Volrath Shapeshifter in response to the Therapy is because they're going to Therapy naming the Chain of Vapor. But now their Volrath Shapeshifter, that is the Psychotog, if it doesn't go to their hand, what they'll do is they'll pump it up to Oblivion and leave the top card as a Chroma and just kill us with lethal. But by bouncing the Psychotog, they don't have the ability to functionally not die here. They just deck. So we get there. Yeah, it was reanimated because because Karmic Guy was on top of the grave. Exactly. Baron Bounty is out on these streets as our opponent number 2, and we are on the draw. Let's look at this hand. We've got a couple 2-mana lands, so Alurening is going to be not problematic. We've got Impulse, so we've got a B option to start the combo, a way to find the Aluren, soul lands, and some selection. To me, let me know what you guys think, but I'll say ahead of time, to me, this looks like the weaker end of a keepable hand. What do y'all think? Hey, good luck, have fun. You too, buddy. But I think we're at the ass end of keepable, but still keepable. We also get a draw. Like, how much do we need to go right for this hand to develop? We can obviously lead on. Is there a difference between leading on either of these? Yeah, this one's better. No, this one just taps for green on its own. This one's actually better. Because this one has to make 2. So we lead on Woodlot, play Island, use Impulse to find either Aluren or Cavern Harpy or Raven Familiar. Any of those will work. And then Intuition for the odd piece out. Ass end of keepable sounds about right. I don't know, though. I might take my mostly free mull to 6 looking for an actual Aluren. That's fair. The amount of looks I have at Aluren on the draw here are like pretty high. If I didn't have these soul lands, I wouldn't be so high on it. But I want to try this. Most of my reps with Sam Black's version of the deck are very much solitaire reps. So I want to try a hand like this out. Drawing an island is obviously as bad as it gets, but we can play Havenwood and just pass. If you would let, you can Intuition for Aluren turn 2 and Aluren turn 3. Yeah, but we don't want to just like expose an Aluren without having the ability to, like, at least in my mind, we don't want to expose it before we can do the thing. So I think what I want to do is open on Impulse, but I can see your line making more sense, Gideon. Fetch, yeah, for sure. Impulse, yeah. What does this Grand Coliseum mean? The Solution. The Solution plays those 2 cards. End step, and we will Impulse. Angel McAngelface. Sorry, Carl. I didn't mean to use vernacular you weren't familiar with. We Impulse here, and we Impulse for Impulse. That's a pretty bad Impulse, but we'll take it. Any order. Of the top 5 cards of our deck, 4 of them are lands, but there's an Aluren. Do we jam? I think we can be a little bit more patient, and maybe that's a mistake, but I think I'm going to try Woodlot Impulse. No, maybe it's just Island Intuition. See if they'll choke there. Yeah. Actually, yeah, Yavimaya Coast Intuition. We'll just pass. You would say that, Carl. Mr. Impulse Crew himself. Always rep. Tap for 1, 2, 3. It's going to be a Slice and Dice. Oh, this might be the 4-color control deck. That Slice and Dice is going to be a pain in the ass versus my my Xantid Swarms. Continue. All right, attackers, end step, Intuition. Target you. 1, 2, 3. All right, let's go grab 3 Raven Familiars. Or is it better to get 3 more Alurens and just like go for it twice? That's interesting, huh? I could like grab 3 Alurens and then like make the attempt 2 times in a row and see if I can overload their permission. And I think I'm going to go gear 1 here and just try to like make it work. Yeah, give me 3 Raven Familiars. Any order into the bin. Next turn, untap, draw Chain of Vapor. Go for it. I think this is just a Hail Mary. I think we like simply have to go for it. I don't think they play Force Spike. It's almost free to play around Force Spike. The downside around playing against Force Spike is that the top card's an Aluren. If I play Hickory Woodlot, I can play it next turn. So that's interesting. Let's just find out if our opponent's deck contains the card Force Spike. All right, let's go. Wait. Or I can just not sack the Havenwood Battleground. All right, Island, Aluren, green, 1/2. We'll just tap out for it. This can't resolve, or my opponent's like for sure dead. But I like the absorb. Yeah, that's fine. Absorb's good. Okay, so we continue playing the game because our hands like got, we've got impulse, extra mana sources, and we need to lock down how much permission we think our opponent's deck actually contains. Because we are going to be doing the Xantid Swarm thing post board. Okay, there's the Aluren. Let's rejam. Yeah, I think we just have to rejam. We'll play out the island, and then we'll go green, blue, Aluren. You got another one of those absorbs. Just a counterspell. Yield to all, and you may go. Blue, colorless, AK for 1. That's fine. Attackers, end step, me. 1, 2. Would it be icing? Okay, if you're going to ice, I'm going to go green and 1, and I'm going to impulse. We got a flash of insight. That seems fucking awesome here. We're going to take flash. All right, that's tapped. Another Aluren. Huh, interesting. And you must be tapped to make green, right? Yeah, of course. Let's just play Hickory Woodlot and like chill. Attackers, end step. Let's flash for 1. We'll take the Cavern Harpy. Next turn. What if we did some grinding instead? Nah, I don't think so. We can play around Mana Leak here, right? Yeah, let's play around some Mana Leak. Let's add 2, 3, 4, and just jam Aluren again. Show me your third counterspell. AK is fine. Do you have a third counterspell? We have an Aluren. Okay, so not a lot of pressure to do anything here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to protect my Aluren combo from a disenchant. We'll start with the Cloud of Faeries. All right, we will not respond to the ability of Cloud. We will untap 1 and 2. And then I'm going to play a Cavern Harpy. They're going to tap for a white and a colorless, and they're going to disenchant. So I'm going to cast Chain of Vapor, targeting Aluren, tapping for a blue. And I will not copy it. So disenchant does its thing. And then we're going to swords here? Perfect. Okay, that's why I did the line the way I did it. I think we're just good to go here now. No response. This comes into play. When it enters, return a blue or black creature. Yeah, we'll just do that. All right, Aluren. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's go. Now they're tapped out, so we can just do this easy peasy. Raven Familiar, trigger the Familiar, look at the tops. We'll take a Cloud of Faeries. Any order to the bottom, play Cavern Harpy without paying its mana cost. No response to the ability, pick up the Raven Familiar, bounce the Cavern Harpy. Raven Familiar, trigger it. What do we got here? Soul Warden, we'll take it. Any order to the bottom. Soul Warden. Now we're infinite. Cast this. Doesn't matter how these triggers are stacked, really. No response. Pick up Raven. Play the Raven. Stack these triggers, however. No response. Intuition. Yeah, we can speed this up by just taking... Oh, I guess we can't take it up by taking Intuition. No, we have to naturally draw our Rishadan Cutpurse, right? Yeah. So we'll bounce this. Play it. And I'm going to kind of just like... I'll chime back in when something matters happens. There's the Cutpurse. Something matters now. Okay, any order on the bottom. Cast Cutpurse. All right, opponent wants to keep playing. We'll put this back in our hand. We'll play it back out. Pick up the cut. Oh, stack these triggers. Bounce the Cutpurse. Play it out. Repeat the process. Please sacrifice another land for me. And repeat the process. Play the Cutpurse. And just one more time. Here is my last combo. I no longer need to do anything. Now I can just kind of sit here. You may go. Yeah, they're just trying to make me kill them, which is a-okay with me. I'm now going to jam Cloud of Faeries, stack these triggers, and then yeah, I should be always yielding on the Soul Warden. Always yield. All right, then we'll just get a Mana War into play, and then we do have to stack the triggers, and then Mana War will bounce Familiar, cast this. We'll grab a Soul Warden. We'll just drop it. Next turn. No response to the Echo. I'll pay it. All right. The rest of the game's pretty simple. Attack with everything. And you may go. They tap for a Furnace. Yeah, I'll F6. Opponent says with another deck, I would concede here, but what are the main wing options of the deck? Playing the chess time 70% of games. Yeah, no, I agree with... if you watch this video, Baron Bounty, I have no qualms with you making me use my clock. This deck's already pretty difficult to play. That's something you can leverage. Like, I get making me kill you. It makes perfect sense. It's not like you're being a jerk and like passing priority at really sus times to make it difficult to execute. You're F6ing, you're doing everything right. This will be a kill. Yep, Furnace, yield. All right, we get game 1. Imagine a challenge with this one. My heart couldn't take it. I think show and tell here. I bet they have Meddling Mage. No Soul Warding, no Chain of Vapor. Xantid Swarm. None of these. This is a lot of cards. I think I can afford to go down like some number of Soul Wardens, maybe down to 1. Maybe like and Chain of Vapor. And then maybe I don't need... No, I think show and tell is pretty good. Maybe it's not where I want to be. Where do I really want show and tell? Because I know against Meddling Mage it's quite good. It can be like pretty good at... It's also like a faux gemstone caverns in this format. That's what I was thinking, Gideon. Definitely want show and tell, but I also think I definitely want Xantid Swarm. So it comes down to like, how much can I actually cut becomes the question. Can I lose like a Cloud of Faeries? It looks like I have to start trimming. Maybe I can lose a Flash. Maybe I can lose a... I don't want to lose too much selection. So like, I want to fight the urge to like, oh, I want Impulse. No, I don't think I do. I'm on the draw, so maybe I can cut an island. Maybe. And then from there, it's like either another Flash or it's like a one-of combo piece, maybe a Mana War. Try this. Good luck with the league. See you next time. Have a good one, Space. All right. Yeah, trimming is difficult with intuitions for sure. This hand contains 2 dead cards and a Mana War, so this is a pretty easy mulligan. We've got a Swarm and 2 Alurens with no green sources. But we've got like a Raven Familiar, but we can't even cast the Swarm. Nah, this is a mulligan too. No lands with 1 land. Go to 4. Having trouble on green sources here. Maybe we have to keep like land, intuition. Bobby, what's up? How you doing, boo? Xantid Swarm, I don't think we can afford on a mulligan to 4. So like land, intuition, Cloud of Faeries? No, Raven Familiar. Okay, keep. We're likely dead here. Mulligan into 4 is usually a death sentence in reactive matchups, but we're going to fight. Grand Coliseum for sure. Island, pass. I mean, that show and tell is a way to get an Aluren into play without having to cast it, right? Yield through turn. All right, there's an Aluren. Land. Do I just jam? No, I think I would intuition at their end step instead to have like more looks. I can just intuition for another show and tell. Let's make them have counterspell. All right, put Aluren into play. All right, now I can just sit here. We've got 2 more show and tells. Good call, real bad. All right, you're up, opponent. We're going to disenchant. What are we going for? AK. Let's cast Raven Familiar. Cavern Harpy? Intuition and show and tell. I'll take the land. All right, kind of fell apart there. If that was a Cavern Harpy or a Mana War, we might just win. So that was not bad for 4. Oh, and they're passing and I can pay the Echo trigger? Interesting. No response. They probably have swords or something here, but I'll pay the Echo. All right, Havenwood Battleground. I'll lead on that. Sacrificing the city, go to combat, send the familiar and pass the turn. Land, fetch, what do we got? Prophetic Bolt. They pass. Well, that's a Cavern Harpy. Now I can just like sit here. Yavimaya Coast, I'm at 4 mana. The second I bite, they might respond. So I think I'm just going to wait till they do something. You are up. Impulse is okay. Go. 1, 2. Accumulated knowledge. Okay, let's Cavern Harpy for free. They tap for a red. Okay, let's intuition. Targeting you, tap for 1, 2, 3, and grab 3 Cavern Harpies. All right, any order those. And then with everything on the stack, we'll just cast Cavern Harpy. Bounce Raven Familiar, and we're off to the races. Cast Raven Familiar, trigger it. Look at the top. Let's grab a Mana War. Any order, bounce here. Play it, Familiar, play it. Take a look. Xantid Swarm, why not? We'll take it. Any order. Pay, play, bounce. Do it again. Trigger. Another Xantid Swarm, I guess. Any order. Repeat. We see another Mana War. We'll grab that. Any order. Play the Mana War. Bounce the Raven Familiar. Play it back out. Trigger it. Another Familiar. We'll take that. Cast the Raven. There's a Soul Warden. Now we're infinite. All right. Pay the life. Repeat. Opponent says GG's. Are they going to concede? They're going to make us keep doing this. They concede. Thank you so much, Baron Bounty. GG's. Wow. A mulligan to 4. We just drew the Aluren and show and tell did it. Very nice. We are 2-0, topping around 3. Ooh, we've got Tinkmaster. This is probably a combo mirror. It's either Tinker Welder Prison or Tinker Fling. That's usually what the legendary Tinkmaster is on. But game 2 out of 3, they got it, and I just concede. Yeah, I mean, you certainly can do that. Our opponent was very transparent about, hey, I'm going to make you play this out because time is something that's important for me. This hand's kind of crazy. We've got a Cavern Harpy. The only thing we're missing is the Raven Familiar, and we've got an Intuition. So the only thing we're really missing is a blue source. I'm going to keep this and just risk drawing the blue source. There's the Ancient Tomb into the Mind Stone. I think this is combo. Cloud of Faeries is pretty cool. Let's jam the Havenwood Battleground and just pass the turn. If I draw Raven Familiar, we just win, which is pretty cool. Altar Dementia happens. Yep, you've got a Croesus's. Red for a Welder. Okay, so this is Welder Prison. We draw Yavimaya Coast. This has to be sacked to do the thing. Do we just win? Not quite, right? Because if we Aluren, we can't ever get access to blue mana, right? So it feels like what we need to do is just play Yavimaya Coast and be patient little boys and girls. I'm going to pass. Play close and hold up chain to win next turn seems good. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Winter Orb is fine. That doesn't matter to me. Ancient Tomb's also fine. Oh, you're going to do nothing. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not required to do anything about any of this. Yeah, we'll just go to our turn. On tap, draw a coast. Okay, so the way we're going to do this, I need to run through this line because it's complicated-ish. We're going to go City of Traitors, tapping out. We can even keep all of our lands if we play City that way to play Aluren. Then with the Aluren, we're going to generate mana with our Cloud of Faeries and Cavern Harpy. Then we'll Intuition for Raven Familiars, and that'll be game. Deal. Aluren. Glad he didn't get a sphere down. You're not kidding. We'd have to find a way to time Chain of Vapor. So here's what we'll do. We're going to do this, Cavern Harpy. We could have also just let on Soul Warden. We don't need to. Then we'll pay a life to put it back in our hand. And then we'll play Cloud of Faeries. And then we will allow the trigger to resolve on tapping 1, 2. And then we will allow the Cavern Harpy we'll wait till allow the Cavern Harpy to resolve. We'll Intuition targeting our opponent. And we'll grab 3 copies of the Raven. And he order those into the bin. And then with the Cavern Harpy trigger on the stack, we're free to go Soul Warden. And then we're free to go Raven Familiar. All right, they concede. Good man. Very cool. Thank you for conceding there and not making us go through that. Okay, so that was that. What do we want in this matchup? Do we even sideboard for this matchup? Chain of Vapor. We absolutely can't beat Sphere of Resistance, so there's that. Show and Tell is interesting because it makes us a cheaper Aluren. Compost and Swarm are pretty bad. So is Masticore. Yeah, I think it's these 4 are the interesting ones, right? Like, we don't need to Uber the Soul Warden. And like Flash of Insight's probably a little slow, cut down to 1. And then what? Is Flash of Insight just bad against the deck that wants to like... Yeah, I think Flash of Insight's just like not good against like Winter Orb and Sphere of Resistance. Show and Tell is spooky, but our opponent's spookiest thing, when we Show and Tell, we just win, right? They could just drop a Sphere. I don't know if I want to cut down on the... I just don't think Flash is very good, right? Like, I'm almost, in my head, I'm almost bringing these Show and Tells in to get the Flashes out. And maybe that's like a little greedy. Maybe I can just bring in the Chain of Vapor and that's enough, right? I wonder if it's just Chain of Vapor. I wonder if what if I just do this? I guess I need to bring back one more. Soul Warden? I don't know, man. Submit. Just 4 Chain of Vapors. Hope it's enough. All right, what do we have here? A hand that wishes it had Show and Tell. That's what we have here. All right, we don't have green for Aluren. What do we have? We have Chain of Vapor to protect against Sphere. Although we need to follow up the Chain of Vapor with the combo. So that's right now, that's kind of a non-starter. We have Impulse, but we're looking for what? A double green land? Intuition. Yeah, this hand I think is just like on the outside looking in. I don't think we have enough things here. We don't have Show and Tell. We didn't bring it in. So I think that this is not quite where we want to be. I'm going to mulligan this hand. This hand contains a double green source. We've got Raven Familiar plus Mana War to start the combo. An extra land. Island. We can cut the Cloud of Faeries. This looks a little bit better. Shivan Reef into nothing. There's the full combo. We just need to resolve Aluren now. Here's a Havenwood Battleground. This deck doesn't really play Wasteland. Just port. They play a land. We untap and draw. Cutpurse is not what we want to be drawing here, but we'll just chill. As long as they're chilling, we're chilling. They pass. Okay. My turn. Untap. Take a draw. Would it be icing? That's fire mana. Ice it? That's fine. We draw City. I wonder if we City and just plan to flash for 1. No, that's short-sighted mana-wise. We're just going to play an island and pass. If we draw Aluren, it just kind of like, the game just kind of ends all at once. Now we need to find Chain as well, right? Thran Dynamo's fine. Passing to me, we untap and draw, unless they have ice. And if they do, they should absolutely use it. All right, it's another Raven Familiar. I wonder if it's better to just flash for a big number than it is to drop a Raven Familiar here. I think it is. Yeah, we'll chill. We'll just flash for 3. Winter Orb. That makes my flash worse for sure. So that resolves. All right, you've got a City. Now I think we're just sitting here and hoping to draw Aluren. Wait, are we? I can flash for 2 and still cast my card. Nope, not under the port. The port actually locks us out kind of hard. All right, what I'm going to do is like tap out, I think. What a funny spot. Yeah, like just look for Chain. But remember, their Rishadan port's going to be able to hold down our Havenwood Battleground. Let's flash for 3 and make them use it. Or flash for 2, rather. Cavern Harpy Island. Well, we don't really need a second Cavern Harpy, do we? We'll just take the island. End step. All right, let's untap the island, actually. No, Yeah, they're definitely going to tap my Havenwood. So let's just untap the island. All right, there goes the Havenwood Battleground. What do we draw? Hickory Woodlot's actually kind of awesome here. Yeah, let's get that into play here. That's going to open up Chain of Vapor as like a game-ending spell if I find Aluren as well. So let's just get another tap land into play and sacrifice the city and pass. Now we're going to start just passing the turn pretty aggressively. Ancient Tomb for sure. Sphere, okay. We'll untap Hickory Woodlot and let them do their thing. It's tapped. There's an Aluren. So now if we can find a Cloud of Faeries, we're kind of cooking, right? Pass. All right, let's just keep on tapping this land and making them dance with it. Oh, having survival wouldn't yoink us out of this spot the way we needed to either, though, right? All right, we'll just pass. Yeah, we just need to be F6ing. We're basically hoping to draw into a pocket of lands before they draw into their Tanglewire. Double port. No, that was a City of Traitors. Draw card is fine. All right, Tanglewire, we can't actually beat that. Let's go to game 3. And after the way that game played out, I actually think Show and Tell is pretty good at, now that I'm thinking about it. So I will take out Soul Warden, another one of these. Is Flash even castable in this matchup? Kind of no. I'll take out another Soul Warden though. I don't think I need that card. And then we will bring in the Show and Tells. Birds and Wall of Roots make you less vulnerable to waste land important stuff. That's true. But I like Sam Black's take of, hey, let's make the combo deck a combo deck. I'm actually generally a pretty big fan of that thought process. All right, I would like to play first, please. What do you look like? Aluren and Nowhere to Go. That's a mulligan. Chain of Vapor, Impulse, double Impulse? What am I doing? Impulsing for Show and Tell? I like the Chain of Vapor. It's a little bit tricky because I think the card I have to mulligan is the Impulse itself. I think we're going to do that. Let's pitch the Impulse, try this out. I wouldn't keep this if my deck didn't contain Show and Tell. But now I've got 3 Show and Tells, 3 Intuitions. So we'll give it a shot. A turn 1 Sphere will kill us, but that's like already, that's good against us no matter what we do. All right, you've got a Welder. Rishadan Cutpurse, play land, go. Tanglewire, yes. Declare attackers. You should attack for 1. They don't for some reason. We'll tap for 2. Impulse. All right, we've got another Aluren. We've got the Cavern Harpy. So now we could take land, or we could just take the Harpy and like plan to, I don't know, draw into Show and Tell, draw into green Soul Land. I don't know what this basic island's doing for us. Let's go for the maximum upside. Let's assemble the entire combo. The other option is to grab another Impulse. I think I'm going to grab the other combo piece. Yeah, it does let us cast the Impulse again on upkeep. That's very true. Now we're just hoping to draw like an land. What's the hold up on my end step opponent? All right, we're going to tap both of our islands. Havenwood, another island. That's actually fine here. I wonder if we're supposed to pop it off just to like try to draw our good one, which is Show and Tell, and just win the game off the back of it, assuming they don't have a sphere. It's a little tricky. There's a port, attackers, end step. Well, now if they port us, we can't do that. So no, we just hold it and tap out. All right, those 3 are tapped. Hickory Woodlot, play it, pass. So now what are we looking for? Cloud? Yeah, you've got Tanglewire doing Tanglewire things. Probably just tap Wire plus like Reef, Wire plus Welder, sure. City, Mindstone. What's your other banger? Another Tanglewire. Okay. I can't really do anything about this. We'll yield to all of the triggers and we'll just tap out. And then we are shipping the turn. 2 mana, 2 life, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, a Phyrexian Devourer. Are we like dead here? Do we need to bounce that? Where are we going with this? Do we flash for a bunch, I wonder? I think we might need to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another Chain of Vapor and a Hickory Woodlot. I think we're going to take the Yavimaya Coast weirdly. Any order these. Yield to all those triggers. City of Traitors. Let's drop the coast. Let's just ship the turn. All those triggers are good. Need them to tap out port somehow and not kill us too. True. Helix. Okay, Helix is fine. So this should do it, right? Clear blockers, no blocks. The only thing that beats us here is what? Red Blast? You're pumping the Devourer. I don't care about that. Not unless you have Fling or something. Yeah, end step. Chain of Vapor, Mishra's Helix for a blue. And even if they have Red Blast, they can only tap one of our green sources, so we have the out of drawing a green source. All right, our turn. Let's see if we get there. We only have to tap 2, so it'll be island, 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 island. Done. Draw for turn. Oh, do you have ice? Oh, man, that's tough. All right, we can still get lucky here, right? Yeah, we can still get lucky here, I guess. We can Flash of Insight for 2 to try to find Show and Tell. Let me see here. Tap for 2, 3. That doesn't quite do the thing we need it to, does it? We just kind of need to naturally draw it here, I think. Because let me see. Flash for 2. And that costs 2. Well, it does work. We just like use this for mana. Use that for mana. Flash for 2. If it's in the top 2 cards, we just take it. And if it's not it needs to be in the top 3 cards here. I think that's our play. Yeah, I think we have to do that. All right, flash 1, and this also denies them the card draw, which is important. 2, boop, and then we'll get rid of Chain of Vapor and our Impulse. Show and tell. Got it. No response. That happens. They do not get to draw the card because the target's no longer valid. All right, we just need them to not have Sphere of Resistance in their hand. Ooh, what a close game. Of course, what they could have in hand is horrifying, is Altar of Dementia, but they probably just would have went for the kill last turn, right? All right, City of Traitors, Show and Tell, Aluren, and Mishra's Helix. All right, hold full control. Cast Harpy. No response. Pay Harpy's cost to return it to my hand. No response. Play Familiar. No response. All right, let Familiar resolve. We'll take another Cavern Harpy. Any order? All right, and we're just going to do the combo now. We'll leave that trigger on the stack, though. All right, let's get the Harpy in there. Let's bounce the Raven Familiar. Let's get the Raven Familiar in there. Trigger it. What do we see? We'll take a Intuition, I guess. Any order, same deal here. Cast it, bounce that fam, and then play it. And then I'll tune back in when something matters. Take Cloud of Faeries. Right now, we're just looking for a Soul Warden, so we can like execute the combo without like losing life, because we do have a finite amount of times we can do this. So as soon as we find Warden, it's actually lights out. Another Familiar, that'll do. That gives us a freebie. Mana War, that gives us another freebie. We'll take the Mana War. Get another Raven, Aluren Intuition. Take another Mana War, that's free. Cast the Mana War. Pick up that Familiar. Get another look. Take a Mana War. Same deal. Take a Chain of Vapor, I guess. All right, let's play another Cavern Harpy. Pick this bird up. Bird time. Another Raven Familiar, I guess. Do the Familiar. What's up, Lavamancer? How you doing, baby? Look at the top. There's a Soul Warden. We are now done. Soul Warden. All right, Rishadan Cutpurse. GG, opponent. Damn, we got there. We needed a lot to go right, but it went right. All right, we're in round 4, and we won the die roll, which is a good place to be when we're a glass cannon combo deck. All right, what do we see? What do we see? We've got some search, but I don't think this just isn't enough. Our plan here, if we keep this hand, is to like impulse, hoping to find an Aluren that we can't cast. I don't think so. Yeah, we ship this. This hand has a Hickory Woodlot. It has a turn 3 Aluren with yeah, we keep this. We can go turn 2 Intuition into turn 3 Aluren. So we keep and ship a Raven Familiar. Don't wasteland me, bro. Pass. Opponent says I'll smile when I see what they play, so I wonder what they're on. Black Sarcomancy. Oh, is it enchantments? Let's go. Let's go. All right, here's an island, and I'll pass the turn. Oh no, it's Oratog. I love this deck. It's a shame I've got the turn 3 kill. Yeah, it's Fenref Enchantress. This deck's awesome. Unfortunately, I have it. I just have it. All right, unstep Intuition. 1, 2, 3. All right, we've got to learn. We just need the Cavern Harpy. So 1, 2, 3. All right, my turn. Untap, draw, land, Aluren, and we start. Play Cavern Harpy, bounce it, let that happen. Play the Raven Familiar. All right, do the Raven Familiar trick. Grab a Mana War to protect my combo further. Any order. Same deal here. This dude, no response. Bounce this. Familiar. We'll take another Cavern Harpy to keep protecting the combo. Cast it. No response. Pick this up. And I was going to say we'll tune back in when there's something to do, but there's just another turn 3 kill. That was fast. Sorry about the mic bump. We are playing against Oratog. What does that mean? Do we want to show and tell? They're kind of a fast deck. I wonder if we even have time. I think I just want to literally go 3 for 3 and send it. All right, we've got the show and tell, but we've got no blue mana. So this hand's unfortunately a ship. This hand's a ship. It's just a green source with 3 Soul Wardens. This hand has a Soul Land, so I can keep a 5-card hand that makes an Aluren, and then maybe I want to be intuitioning in addition to give myself the chance, like if I draw Harpy, I intuition for Raven Familiar and vice versa. We'll keep that. Yeah, this is good. 1, 2, done. Let's dance, opponent. Little birdie. All right, Hickory, go. Firmriff Enchantress into nothing. Okay, we'll go Island into pass the turn. And since we didn't draw one of the 2 combo pieces, I think we still intuition for Raven Familiar. Love to see PM Arnie jamming some Oratog, though. I love this deck so much. Ooh, so we want to duress. So now we have to intuition. Target you. 1, 2. And we're going to go grab our Raven Familiars, and they're going to get 1 of our Allurens. And hopefully not have a second duress. So where's Raven? There he is. 1, 2, 3. Raven Familiar can start the combo from a 0 point, basically. Like jam Aluren, play Raven Familiar. We get 3 looks at a card that continues the combo. Then we can just yield through the turn. What do we got? An attack for 1. I like it. And we draw Rishadan Cutpurse, which isn't a bad way to go. So let's go Yavimaya Coast, jam the Aluren. Green, green. All right, jam the Raven Familiar. Trigger it. Oop, that was easy. Cavern Harpy. Any order. Jam the Harpy. Respond. All right, we get there. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, opponent. Let's get into round 5. All right, Hobo Suave is the opponent, and we've won the die roll for round 5. Let's see if we can keep getting those lucky hands. I'll be on the play. This is interesting. We can set up for Aluren and use intuition to find the Aluren, but it's a little bit slow. Let me think here. So our fastest Aluren, if we want to respect our deck, is to go turn 3 intuition into turn 4 Aluren. That gives us a bunch of looks for the chat. What do we think? I think this is a mulligan. I think this is a mulligan because our deck literally just, our hand doesn't contain Aluren. If this Soul Warden or this Chain of Vapor, if either of those were Aluren, we'd have a like dead sprint to a win con. The baddest says we keep. I think we mulligan, but I'm ready to think that I'm being like too aggressive with my mulligans. Finding the sweet spot for mulligans with this deck is probably one of the hardest parts. We do have a line though, right? Like we've got Aluren mana, intuition for Aluren, and half of the combo. So we just need to draw either Impulse into Cavern Harp into Raven Familiar, naturally draw Raven Familiar, draw a copy of Flash, or draw a copy of a second copy of Intuition. Okay, we keep. You sold me on it. I still think we need to lead on Havenwood. That's like the really hard part about this deck is like looking at openers and making decisions, figuring out how much is enough to keep. A Duress does eat our hand. Okay, Jackal Pup. I like our Jackal Pup matchup. Good one off the top. Island's fine. We're just going to ship the turn. I wonder if we're supposed to Chain of Vapor a Jackal Pup. I think we need to save Chain of Vapor for a potential Pyrostatic Pillar. So I think we're taking this too. Another dog and a Seal of Fire. Well, now I think we need to Intuition at end step. So I wonder if we're Chain of Vaporing a Jackal Pup right now. It gets blown out by Ball Lightning, I'll say that much. But I think we need to play to our good top decks. Next turn, on tap, draw. Okay, we drew the Raven Familiar. Island, go. Attackers to 2. That was a very lucky top deck, that Raven Familiar. Damage. Jackal Pup's fine. Seal of Fire is also fine. End step, let's go ahead and 1, 2, 3. Intuition. Target you. 1, 2, 3 copies of Aluren. All right, next turn. Now, I don't think we just win here. Okay, now we kind of just win here. Let's go City of Traitors. Let's play Aluren, break this, tap this for 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's start with the Cutpurse loop to make them break one of their seals on that. So let's play Cavern Harpy, let it resolve, pay a life to put it back in my hand. No response. All right, that was the worst play they could have made. Pay a life to put it back in my hand. They sacked the seal. That was the worst possible time to sack the seal. Now we're going to play Rishadan Cutpurse. We'll let the ability resolve. They concede. So if anyone's wondering what we're going to do from that point, we're going to use the Cavern Harpy and the Cutpurse to wipe their board so they can't even Fire Blast. Then we'll Soul Warden and we'll draw our deck and gain 90 life. That's like a pretty easy dub there. All right, what do we want post board? Do we just want to speed up? Do we literally want to go like Soul Warden 4 Show and Tell? Cut all these, did not bring these in. And then Flash of Insight so slow. What else? Yeah, you probably want to make a bunch of proxies with like ones with like 4 cards with a picture of like Cavern Harpy, and that way you can like put the Cavern Harpy in play, put the trigger on the stack, leave it represented, then bounce it. I think that's actually a good way to play this deck in paper. Do I want Chain of Vapor? I'm really racing to the combo here, right? If they resolve Pillar, it is terrible, yeah. So maybe we don't want Show and Tell that bad. Let's try not bringing in Show and Tell. We'll keep a Flash and we'll bring in Chain Soul Warden. Submit. Alrighty. This hand, okay, let's have a discussion about this hand. We are in the waiting room. We can turn to Aluren and we can use Mana War to wait. I can just like never let them resolve things. Do I have enough time to like draw Intuition, Impulse, or Raven? You know what? Keep. I've got a feeling about this hand. I guess Pillar kills us pretty easily, but that's always the case. Mountain, Seal, my go. Havenwood, go. Land, fetch. Do we see a bad thing? Nothing. Draw Hickory Woodlot. Okay. Do I just put this Aluren into play? I think I do. Land, Aluren. And then I just pass. I don't need to do anything else. You're up. Take 3 from Bolt. Take 3 from Bolt. We need the Raven, yep. Ball Lightning's fine. Attackers is fine. All right, I think I need to protect my Mana War, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast Cavern Harpy, and then I'm going to pay a life to return it while holding its trigger on the stack. Then I'm going to Mana War, and I'll bounce your Ball Lightning, and then I'll allow the Cavern Harpy trigger to resolve, and I'll bounce the Mana War. All right, my turn. Off the top? Not quite. Okay, we'll just start playing normal lands now. I think we do need to start with a Hickory Woodlot, though, because this City of Traitors is about to dip on us. Oh, what? They conceded? Oh, I wanted to play that game out. No, I didn't have the combo opponent. Well, fine. We'll take it. A little 5-0 with green, blue, Sam Black, Aluren. Maybe their hand was just like full of Ball Lightnings or something. This trophy shocks me. This deck's like crazy weird to play. It's kind of hard, but the amount of configurations of cards in this deck that just like deliver you the combo are crazy. And this is, I'm going to say it right now, I've played every version of Aluren. This is the best one. This is the best one by like a ton. I like this version quite a bit. It was a fast trophy besides the Tinker Welder Prison video, game, yeah. Closing thoughts on this deck, Sam Black's a genius, but we already knew that. So like, no notes. I like the sideboard. The Masticores never came up, but I'm sure Elves and Goblins are a matchup we want to be prepared for. Loved the Swarms, the show and tells. At first I thought it was a cool gimmick. Now I think they're load bearing on the sideboard plan. I got some things on my agenda tonight, so I'm not going to do another league. We'll be back tomorrow. Don't worry. We'll play some more leagues for you all tomorrow. And then, so for today, especially if you're watching here on Fluorescent Fungus, thank you so much for watching. As always, I will see you next time.